Good morning. Welcome to Failure to Stop Podcast, the number one podcast for police-related breakdowns. This week is insane. FAWKES News was off of the hook. That's our little news show that we do here on the Failure to Stop C- Media Network. But we've had banger episodes come out from Santana True Crime, Alley in the Archives, which is true crime pre the 1930s. Lots of stuff. The bar is open with Beth and Greg, our TMZ-style news podcast. They're in town from Tejas, so I've been entertaining them all week. It's been a lot of fun, but I've also been working on the audiobook for Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. It's getting real, folks. If you've been following us for the last couple of years, you know the book is coming out August 26th. Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. This is one of the first major book deals that Simon & Schuster has given for a police comedy book. So I don't like to think of myself as someone who has broke the glass ceiling, but maybe I am someone who has broken a glass ceiling, and that will make opportunities for guys like you and gals like you to write funny, real books about being a police officer and not have to worry about being canceled. So, one of the big things we're getting back from Pig Latin.
I have no idea what he did. I believe he probably just closed his tab. So if you're watching this live, I'm going to keep talking. So Eric's talking about his book. What he has been doing the last couple of weeks, last week and a half, 2 weeks, he's been working on the audiobook, and he's been working on it a lot, and he's back, and he's going to tell you all about that.
Sorry, guys. That was a crazy thing. All my tabs just closed, and it said something went wrong. But anyway, the CIA doesn't want you to read the book. But the one thing we're getting back is that this is probably one of the most realistic tellings of what it's actually really like to be a cop, from stumbling through being a rookie to finding your way onto a squad, and all of the locker room dynamics and the roll call room dynamics and the banter and the mess ups, the losing of the foot chase, the fucking up of crime scenes, the losing car chases, the wrecking your cars, like all the things that most people don't think that you would want to put in a book because it makes you look bad. And cops don't put a lot of things in books like that because they don't want to get sued, or they don't want to have like some kind of a case. I just said, screw it. I'm going to rate exactly how my career was, from being the world's worst rookie, leading all the way up to me becoming Officer of the Year, fired the same year, and giving a life-saving award basically on the same day that I was fired. And it makes for a very hilarious, funny book, but also I'm very sincere in the way I tell the book. So it doesn't make me look good. Matter of fact, I got a 3-star review from an ARC reader yesterday who says she really enjoys the book. She really enjoys the stars from the book, but it was funny at times and extremely depressing at others. And she can't quite get a feel on what kind of person the author actually is. And that scares her a little bit. She gave me 3 stars. Another person gave me 2 stars. Because she says the book is really great, but the author appears to be such an incredibly big asshole that I can't give this any more than 2 stars. Now, all of the rest of the reviews are almost 5 stars. So we have a 4.6 star rating on NetGalley, and which is above average ratings for NetGalley and Goodreads. But those were 2 of the negative ones where, and it's funny to see that like some people are like 5 stars, the funniest book I've ever read. I was crying. And then the next one will be 5 stars. The book is funny, but it's also very, very dark, and the themes are very dark. And I'm just not sure that it was as funny as the cover would make it seem. And so I think it's funny to see that people's, some people are cool with dark humor. Probably more the civilians are like, why are you guys laughing at this? This isn't, this is crazy, but I don't think it's funny. Whereas the cops, the firefighters, the first responders are like, that's fucking crazy. But anyway, we're doing the audiobook right now. And the guy who's directing the audiobook has done like Kamala Harris's book, Donald Sutherland, Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, James Franco. So this guy has an incredible repertoire of books that he's already done. And he's from San Francisco, and he's directing the audiobook. And he even says that my ability to do all the voices in the book make it that much more funny and that much more exciting. And so now they have given us a go ahead on adding sounds and music to the audiobook, which is not something they normally do. But because I guess the theatrics and the way I read the book, it dictates or it renders the need for background sounds and screeches and clicks of the handcuff and tasers and all the things. So with that being said, this audiobook is definitely going to be a masterpiece. You can go to Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble's, Books A Million right now, and you can pre-order it. Get on the pre-order list for Pig Latin is seriously funny, true story, and it hits the shelves in bookstores all across America on August 26th. Today's episode is going to be rather short because Beth and Greg from The Bar is Open with Beth and Greg, we are headed to the Special Operations Museum down in Vietnam. So we're checking our passports off today, heading to Vietnam to the Special Operations Museum, going to walk around, and then we're going to go out and have a nice steak dinner. It's going to be a lovely evening. So I picked a very fun, flirty, really good episode before we break for 4th of July. And also this breakdown, which is pretty badass. I will say, before you get it in your brain that you think that you can do this as a cop, one, I want you to listen to what I'm going to play first. And two, I want you to understand that there are consequences if you do not know how to do this. It's something that I've preached on this show for a long time. Training, being prepared, being real, and being honest with yourself. This episode ties all that in together. A lot of you are LARPers. You don't want to hear that, but you are. You're in your cop car right now and you think you know, but you don't. All of that's going to make sense right after we play this intro. Hit the intro for me, Joshua.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guns up, giddy up. It's Friday. Friday, I'll get down on Friday. Who doesn't miss it? Somebody says my hair looks gay. Well, that hurts my feelings. Does my hair look gay this morning? Can't be any more gayer than your mustache there, Josh. And it is Pride Month, so when in Rome, as I said, I wanted to take this. I wanted to play this video for you really fast. Now, this is from a firefighter. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, God, fuck. I don't want to hear a firefighter talk to me about being ready and being prepared. But I think this really sets the tone for today's show. And I want you to listen to this speech. Then we're going to play this video. And then I want you to think, and I want you to be honest with yourself at the end of today's episode. And I think where it's going to be a little bit more philosophical than we're normally used to, but I think we need it going into the 4th of July weekend. Let me go ahead and play this little speech for you.
Men like to talk shit, right? And when nothing is exciting is going on, we talk shit about each other and we downplay things. And everybody in this room has been a part of some conversation where somebody's telling you, hey man, what are you getting all worked up about? Tone it down. Or look at these clowns. You know, they're acting like it's a 4-alarm fire and it's a food on the stove, right? Everybody wants to talk shit about being into the job, about being ready for the job until this happens. Because all of a sudden when you're first due and the grandmother is pulling you out of the ladder truck and there's 2 kids trapped and fire blowing out of half of the house, everybody wants to do a good job. Nobody's going to debate whether we should be ready. Nobody's going to fight you on what we should know what we're going to do. You want to go in and get the kid, and you want the fire to go smoothly because this is a fire you're going to remember for the rest of your life, right? But here's the thing. If you want to be good, you have to put in the work. And a lot of people want things to happen, but they're not willing to work for things to happen. And there is a big difference between what you want to be able to do in these moments and what you are going to be able to do, right? If you want to be able to perform, if you want to be able to put the fire out, if you want to give these people the best chance, then that involves a lot of upfront investment before this happens.
So you can go and check this guy out, Combat Ready Fire Training, at www.combatreadyfiretraining.com. The Instagram handle I pulled this for is @in as in Nora Martin 33, in as in Nancy Martin 33. So @in Martin 33. If you want to go and see that video. And when I joined, when I got suckered into doing jujitsu, I got suckered into it, got a scholarship from the We Defy Foundation for being a disabled veteran or whatever. Good friend of mine that's on the Raleigh SWAT team put me in for it. I didn't want to do it. First thing I said was, do I have to wear those stupid pajamas? And he was like, yes. And I don't think in a week or so you will be calling them stupid anymore. And I was like, yeah, whatever. When do you get in a fight on the street with stupid pajamas? That was what my mindset was. Now, listen, I got in a fight almost every week of my career working in the Southeast District of Raleigh, North Carolina. I got in a use of force probably on average 3 or 4 times a month, if not more. I was constantly on the list of having too many uses of force, and you have to go to, it gets the inspections unit starts to review all of your use of forces once you're on this list. And so I was looked at under a microscope. They were all justified, and they were all, de-escalation wasn't really a choice a lot of time. I'm really, really, really good at de-escalation. I'm a good talker. Obviously, that's why I podcast for a living and I write books and do these things. I'm good at the gift of gab. And so I could talk my way out of a lot of fights. However, and this is detailed in my book, but I tried to do a belly on back, basically a suplex. Belly on back. What do you call it?
Belly back suplex.
Yeah, belly on back suplex. And I broke my leg in multiple places. 12 screws, 2 plates in a rod. Here's the thing about me back then. I did have some training. I went through parts of the Marine Corps combatives course, even though I was in the Army. I went through Army Special Operations combatives. I went through regular Army combatives, and I went through a Blackwater private course that was put on by Blackwater. No, I'm sorry. It's put on by Black Hawk, the brand Black Hawk. Black Hawk holsters, Black Hawk. Sorry, not Blackwater. Black Hawk holsters sponsored a 5-day training seminar, and I went to that. So I have a general, very fundamental knowledge of combatives while I was in the police department. Even with the fundamentals, which wasn't enough. It was nothing. I broke my leg trying a very simple belly on back suplex. When I started jujitsu, I was 39 years old, 41 now. I thought with all my years in the military, with I'm in really good shape. I've done CrossFit for a long time. I, special forces assessment and selection, small unit tactics. I've done the DaneCon Death March with the Danish soldiers. I've done the assault on Mount Mitchell. It's a 110-mile bike race uphill the whole way. I've put myself mentally through a lot of challenges. And so jiu-jitsu was not going to be that difficult for me. I learned very quickly that even a basic white belt nerd who wakes up every day and diddles with lights and does some kind of nerdy 3D image printing type shit was able to fold my clothes while I was still wearing them. It was embarrassing how little I didn't know. In my mind, I know how I would act in a moment like this. But to be honest with you, it wasn't until I did jiu-jitsu that I realized how much of a faker I really was. I thought I was a good 3-gun shooter until I started jiu-jitsu. I thought I was good under stress, reloading a shotgun, combat loading a shotgun. I thought I was good at all those things. And then I started jiu-jitsu and I realized how good I was not at being mentally prepared for 3-gun competitions or for loading and unloading under stressful situations. Because once I started jiu-jitsu, all those things became much easier to me. The way that I was able to process and the way I was able to think under stress was completely different. And so, I realized that I had been a pretender for very many years. That there are men walking around that actually train and actually know that they could kill me, and they have no special operations training. They have no police training, no firefighter, no first responder. We're talking there are nerds walking around like Michael Messamucci that could murder me at 135 pounds and me weighing in at 202 pounds, that they could murder me in probably less than 20 seconds. I now know that. And I wish I could go back to law enforcement Eric and say, brother, there's a lot of things that you're pretending to know. You're picking a fight with a lot of these gang members, and if one of them has even 9 weeks of training, they are going to fold you up, and you're not going to be able to use your taser. You're not going to use your pepper spray. You are not going to be effective. Now, lucky for me, the streets don't train. But what if they do? What if they did? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you a pretender? Or do you think, I know that you want to think that you could stand there and go left, right. We saw last week's episode when an officer was like, whoa, you want to do this? And then very quickly after he got stuck in the chin, this officer was pretty much out cold on the concrete with a man standing over top of him, delivering 11 barrages to the face that were well-connected shots to his face, and then went and retrieved a gun. Luckily, that cop stayed in the fight. He was mentally prepared. He was a Florida boy, and he knew what was up. He knew it was game time. Listen, I don't think a Connecticut boy, Connecticut man, I don't think they have that in them. Florida boys are different. You know what I mean? Florida is like, they're like Australians. They're built differently. And he had that Florida man mindset. And so he was able to will his way through that. But had he had almost like 9 weeks of training, just a little bit of training, he would have dealt with the threats much more efficiently, and it wouldn't be such a game over his life. So I want to show you something here today. And I know that you guys are going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah. That's what I would do. Just know I did the same thing, and I heard pow, pow, pow as my legs snapped in 3 places when I did this, because I thought I knew, or I envisioned my brain to be more capable than I was actually able. Now, some of you think about active shooters, right? Who doesn't fantasize about a good active shooter scenario? Went to a town concert yesterday, fanny packing it, felt silly. But you know what? I'm not going into big crowds anymore. Not today, Iran. Not today, Antifa. Not today, ISIS. Like, I'm not getting taken out by some dumbass active shooter. And I realized while I was in the park that there's probably other guys out here carrying, but are they doing what I'm doing right now? Are they doing what you should be doing if you're going to be a concealed carrier? Are you looking, where is my place of cover? If somebody approaches from there with a rifle and I have a pistol, how am I going to close the distance without getting shot? Who is the most likely here to have a rifle? Who's the most likely here to have a pistol? Who's the most unlikely to have it? Are you wargaming the entire time? Because if you're not, if you're just showing up and you're going through the theatrics of carrying a handgun that you don't know how to get out of your pouch, that isn't strategically put in your pouch or on your hip in a way that you can get to it efficiently and effectively and quickly, then you're just theatrics. You're tricking yourself into, it's like carrying a tourniquet but not knowing how to apply it left-handed, right-handed, blindfolded. Because when the shit hits the fan and you need to tie a tourniquet, and trust me, I've done this, you will fumble that thing around. You will question yourself. I had to put it on a pregnant lady who was bleeding from the femoral artery, most blood I've ever seen in my entire life. And as I'm trying to, and I've practiced and I've trained this 1,000 times. As I was tightening the tourniquet and the blood was just oozing out the sides of this, where I couldn't even see my hand trying to tighten this thing down, I was questioning myself, am I doing this right? Was I supposed to go further above this cut? Am I doing it? Should I have done it on the wound itself to clamp this thing shut? Should I have done it above the wound? I was second guessing myself, even though that I had trained. And so if you are just carrying around a firearm and you aren't mentally prepared to do work with that, you might not be as effective as you think you're going to be. Luckily, in today's video, this guy is effective in his training. Obviously, he has a wrestling background. jiu-jitsu, judo, possibly background, probably, this is definitely a more judo or more Greco-Roman style wrestling. So he does have a very good sense of training. He also goes hands-on immediately. This guy trains 100%. I don't even have to guess. I know he trains because I can see all the things that he does. And we've watched how many videos here on the Failure Style podcast channel where the people don't train. They tase and they wait. We're scared to put our hands on me. Imagine if you can, for one moment, firefighters, first responders, and cops. Imagine if you could look at any human being and know with 100% confidence that if this man wanted to go hand to hand with you, there is nothing, no chance, 0% chance that the person in front of you could do anything but lose. Imagine how much better of a cop, EMS, paramedic, firefighter you would be if you knew that even though this guy's doped up and I as a paramedic need to get him Haldol or whatever, that I have trained and I do train and I know that I can put my hands on this drugged up lunatic and I know he has no weapons and there is nothing he will be able to do to hurt me in return. You will instantly become a better talker, a better technician. You will be able to deliver the shot better. You'll be able to put handcuffs on them better. You'll be able to talk them down, de-escalate, or escalate accordingly because you aren't stressed over, am I in this moment a pretender? And don't act like you're not. 99% of you police officers don't tell me that you've been in a situation, that you haven't been in a situation where you spent the whole time going, fuck, I hope I don't have to go hands-on. Oh my God, if I have to go hands-on, I need backup. I need backup right now. And your whole focus is on getting backup and stalling tactics because you know that you can't go hands-on with this guy or you're 50-50 on it. If you tell me that that's never happened to you, you're lying to yourself or you work in, Rodeo Drive or something like that.
Even if, like, I train. So even if a training, you still have those moments where, because it's one of those things, like when you do train over time, like you'll get to understand it. Like just because you're 6'30" and 300 pounds doesn't mean you're God. Just because you're 2'8" and you weigh 98 pounds doesn't mean you're nothing. Like the worst ass whippings I've ever had were from someone that I outweighed by a lot. I was much bigger than them. But what it lets you do too is when you get into these situations, it's like having another gun on your tool belt. It's another tool on the tool belt that it's invisible, that they can't see, the suspect can't see, you can't see. But when you walk in there with that invisible tool, like I have this confidence to know, okay, if I need to turn it up a little, I have the ability to. I'm confident I can overpower this person. I can take an arm bar. I can take him to the ground. I can do what I need to do to take physical control over this person. But that gives you time for your head and your brain to do all this muscle memory things. So, because a lot of this stuff becomes muscle memory. You're reacting to training. You've trained this same scenario 1,000 times. So when this happens now your brain's like, oh, I have to catch up. This is what's going on. Oh, we're rolling now. Oh, this is what's going on, because you're into that muscle memory. But when your brain goes to that muscle memory, what it lets you do, your conscious brain lets you try to think and lets you try to, what's going on? Let me see his hands. What's on the backdrop? Are we in the kitchen? Are we in the living room? Is there anybody else? What's the radio saying? Can I get some? It's letting you have all of this extra time because it's another tool on your belt that's giving you time. Because sometimes time is in your favor, and sometimes time's not in your favor. This case from last week, just like Eric said, like right off the bat, you're hands-on. And a lot of these cases, if we go hands-on early, that is a use of force, but that's a lower use of force than shooting someone. It's a lower use of force than tasing someone. So if you can go hands-on with someone, yeah, the body camera might not look great, but it looks a lot better. That versus we were involved in another police-involved shooting today, and our officers were, that's a totally different press conference. Completely different press conference versus, hey, our officers were trained. We had a suspect who was violent. We went hands-on with the suspect. Suspects had some injuries. They went to the hospital, and now they are awaiting the DA to bring their charges. Yep.
So don't get it. Well, don't wait until you get into a moment like this to think that you are prepared for that moment. Prepare early. And, this is a big thing that I have to advocate to before we get into the video is that, none of this outweighs your need to be a good father or a good husband. I would never want you guys to start to try to be experts in anything while putting your family on the side burner. But I'll tell you this, that if you train combatives, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, Muay Thai maybe, I throw Muay Thai in there loosely. I don't really like to encourage. I enjoy training Muay Thai a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. Just don't think it's very practical for policing because we can't just go punching and kicking people. So I'll narrow it down to wrestling, judo, and jiu-jitsu. You become a better lover and a better family, and you realize that you do get more time back because you have more confidence in things. The way you learn how to train in a martial art like this, the techniques that you learn from training under somebody, especially in a really good disciplined jiu-jitsu or judo gym, you take that back and you want to do more dry fires. It holds you accountable to know how weak you really are and where your flaws are and where you want to get better. That's why I really am a true believer that jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, it really does changes people's lives. I now know why Joe Rogan and Jocko and all these guys, they preach about it. I used to hate it as a cop, like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. But it really is a life changer. It really does show you the points in your life that you need to get better at. And then you want to get better. And it's like, I quit drinking because of jiu-jitsu. I quit eating shitty foods because of jiu-jitsu. And I do a lot of dry fires because of jiu-jitsu. I do a lot of drawing my pistol because of do you know why I do draws all around the house constantly? I mean, it's every single day. I'm unloading my firearm and I am practicing sitting on my couch. I'm practicing because I know that if somebody is like, I know how quickly I can get fucked up because of jiu-jitsu. I know how quickly shit can go real south and I'm now turtled up and I'm at somebody else's will and discretion. So I know that I better be able to get to my gun very quickly. And I know that the situations I might be getting to my gun are not going to be me standing up, having the time to lift my shirt, draw my pistol, punch out. You know, a lot of these are going to be running backwards, trying to pull the pistol out and just get the first shot off and be first. You know, a lot of us are doing these draws where you bring it up to your eyes and you're punching out. Great. That's awesome. But in real life, 99.9% of the time, that's not how you're going to be drawing. You're going to be drawing on the run. You're going to be drawing from your seatbelt. You're going to be holding that gun to the side window. You're going to be shooting one-handed, two-handed. You're going to be shooting with your left hand. You're going to have a malfunction firearm. I mean, we saw 4 or 5 weeks ago at that gas station, how many times the guy had to tap rack ready his firearm and talk on the radio. These are all things that I want you guys, after the end of today's show, I want you to say, where am I playing theatrics? Where am I pretending? Be honest with yourself. Where am I pretending? If I'm truly a protector, if I'm one of these guys that wears his, 11 Bravo t-shirt, 9-line Medevac t-shirt, if I'm one of these guys that conceal carries and keeps the tourniquet and they go back in his car, at what point are you just carrying equipment? How effective are you really? Are you going to know for a fact where that tourniquet goes in every scenario, or at least have a fundamental idea? Or are you going to forget when the shit hits the fan? And I promise you, listen, I practiced 1,000 times applying a tourniquet, but when I couldn't see myself applying a tourniquet because my hand was completely covered in blood and so was the tourniquet, I was really, really, and I write about it in the book, I was really questioning myself at that moment. Am I doing this right? Is something wrong? Like, this isn't how I pictured it when I practiced this 1,000 times. Do not practice for the sake of theatrics. Practice with purpose. Practice with intent. Be able to do it with your eyes closed. But at the same time, don't be a shitty parent, a shitty father, or shitty husband. A lot of these guys get super caught up in trying to be king DUI guy, king drug guy, king jiu-jitsu guy, king shooter, and they have zero life balance and their kids are pieces of shit. So I always will throw the caveat in is to make sure, most importantly, that you are being a good husband and a good father. Let's go ahead and play today's case breakdown, brought to you by factormeals.com/Wolfpack50. Summer is upon us. Summer's here. It's too late. You're not going to get in shape before next weekend, before the 4th of July. So you can go ahead and start your meal plan for after the 4th of July with factormeals.com/Wolfpack50OFF. All right. 4th of July is here. Chili dogs, California dogs, all the Cincinnati dogs. You're going to go and spoil it. Listen, don't even worry about it right now. Enjoy yourself shamelessly. Have a good time. After 4th of July, already be signed up for factory75.com with the promo code Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off to get you 50% off your first order plus free shipping, and start your meal planning today. Chef prepared, fresh, never frozen meals delivered right to your door. You can do protein heavy if you want to get Papa Swolio. You can do keto. You can do keto friendly if you want to get skinny mini. You can do calorie conscious as well if you don't want to go full blown keto. But this is a diet that will get you on the right track, and you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to go to the grocery store, buy the Pyrex and Pytex dishes, try to find the right lids. They come pre-packaged, fresh, not frozen. They're delivered right to your door in a really cool pack cooler. Unload them into your refrigerator. They're color coded, and you can pick them out day by day. They also have all the snacks and accoutrements that get you through your day. Breakfast. They've got the bars, the shakes, all sorts of things to snackies on to keep your diet friendly. But that is the best way to get back onto a healthy diet. You don't have to worry about going out to eat or those temptations, because you know you have a delicious meal that you actually want to consume. They look pretty, they present themselves well, and they're fucking phenomenal. So when your friends are like, hey, let's go to the Mexican restaurant and get a burrito, you'll be like, it's a much easier to say, no, I'm good. I actually got a meal with me today, and I'm excited to eat it. That's what I love about Factor Meals. Head over to factor75.com, use the promo code Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off. That's promo code Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off plus free shipping. Let's get into today's video. Again, it's going to be a little bit short. We're going to end a little bit early because I'm heading out to hang out with Greg and Beth when the bar is open with Beth and Greg. Make sure you go and follow them, follow their podcast, follow them on YouTube. Play that beautiful beam footage.
So this is coming to us from Moore, Oklahoma. Police were responding to this house because the actual people that live there called, says, hey, there's somebody in our house that doesn't live here. And they show up, they find this guy. There's not a whole lot of body camera footage for it, but at some point they know who this guy is and they are made aware he's got a warrant, and then the body camera comes on. So you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I haven't lived here for a while.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you have warrants for your arrest. I need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Let me stop right here. So this is the fun part about being a cop. Where you get the call, there's somebody in my house that's not supposed to be there. Not likely. 90% of the time, this dude is a roommate. This dude is a friend that has been staying there for months. Boyfriend, lover, whatever. The chances of this guy just making himself at home, far and few between. Have I seen it? Yes. One time I had a really drunk guy, got super drunk on Pappy Van Winkle, went to the wrong apartment. He was from out of town. He was actually a firefighter from Ohio, and went to the, not Jason Keefe, different guy, but accidentally went into the wrong apartment, fell asleep on somebody's couch. They called, and they're like, there's somebody in my house. I have no idea who they are. Anyway, the whole thing, no charges were filed. And, there's nothing nefarious happened. This guy just was from out of town. The door was unlocked. He walked in, got confused on which door was his, crashed on the couch, drunk as fuck. But most of the time, this is he probably does live there in some way or a fashion. It's probably unlikely that he's just chilling in this house. But the cops have warrants. So they've already done, they're like, let's see how we can get this guy out, because this is starting to happen more and more. It's harder and harder to evict people. Thanks to very loose, weak on crime laws that are being pushed down through Obama's pillars of policing and whatnots. So it's very hard to get fucking dirtbag, low life, shitty tenants out of your house these days. And here we have the cops are trying to do a little of their due diligence. So they've ran the guy's name. So they already have the guy's name somehow, probably because the person that's calling about it knows who this guy is. And they see that as warrants. So they don't even have to do the whole eviction, the whole you can't be here bullshit. It's very simple. You can't be here. You're going to jail.
Well, unfortunately, you have warrants for your arrest. I need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back.
For what? What am I warrants for?
Turn around. They're for local warrants.
No, I don't have any warrants. I want you to tell me what they're for.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Tell me what they're for.
Taser.
Okay, here we go. Now, Do you see the difference? I want you to see the difference between the guy who's trained and the guy who's not trained. The guy who's trained, just see if you can tell. I'm not going to spoil this for you at all. I want you to tell me who, by the end of this video, watch the whole thing. No, before the shit hits the fan. I want you. No, we'll watch the whole video and we'll see if you're right. Guess now. Do you think cop with his hand on the guy's wrist is trained, that's going through repetitive repetition? Do you think the guy that's just going right to taser, taser, taser? Which guy do you think is trained?
Taser.
We'll say 1 being the guy with the gloves that's saying turn around, 2 being the guy that's saying taser, taser, taser. You tell me which guy is trained and we're going to talk about it.
If you want to.
Turn around, put your hands
If you want to.
Turn around.
Get out of my house.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Get out of my house.
Turn around, behind your back. You're going to get tasered.
No. You're going to kill me.
5-1, step it up. We need backup.
All right, we'll play some more of this here in a second. Be honest. Before this started, who do you think was trained? So we have Bosco thought 1 was the trained. Abby says 1 was trained. Armory Knight says 2 was trained. Brittany says, holy fuck. So here's how you know that there's training. Police officer number 1 does a good job of going hands-on first, but then he gets stuck in the repetitive repetition. He knows this guy is under arrest. You have a warrant. He allows this guy to snap back and square up on him. Why? Why are you going to let that happen? Because you weren't trained. Because you didn't know what, you didn't grab that wrist with actual intent. You grabbed it with hesitation. You grabbed it because you had the intestinal fortitude to say you're under arrest. And by the way, grabbing somebody's hand who's under arrest that's in shape, like the guy you have in front of you, takes a lot of balls and courage. Not discrediting that, and I'm not trying to make fun of this cop in any way, shape, or form. But what we have here is he didn't have the training or the confidence to know what next. He's okay when he goes hands-on and the guy goes into handcuffs. But what happens when the guy squares up? Now, notice the guy with the taser, he's not talking. He knows. He knows what time it is. He doesn't have to talk anymore. There's no repetitive repetition. I know what I'm going to do. I know you're under arrest. I don't care that you squared up. My heart rate's not up. Watch the guy with the taser's arm. It's dangling. It's dangling as if he doesn't even give a fuck. This doesn't even register because he knows there's nothing that this bozo can do to him. Now, the guy that's putting his hands on him, he's like, oh, shit. I'm not exactly sure what to do now. Do I start punching this guy? Do I go to my tools? Do I go to my belt? Do I get my taser? Do I get on the radio? His brain, the adrenaline is coursing. Things are happening. Synapses are firing. Taking it over. Adrenaline's taking over. He's not a coward. He's not a bitch. He's none of those things. But he's having a totally different experience than homeboy over here with training that's like taser, 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 pops him, and then just goes full Leroy Jerkers because he knows what time it is. Then when they go hands-on, guy with no training screaming on the radio. Why? There's 2 of you with guns, with tasers, with all of the tools. Why do you need backup? Why are you so desperate to get on the radio? Because you know because you don't have the training. You don't have the confidence that you can handle this. Homeboy that's going hands-on doesn't care about backup, doesn't care about his fucking radio, doesn't care about his fucking taser. This dude knows he's winning this fight, and that's all there is to it. That's why you want to be cop number 2, guys. You want to be cop number 2 that's you're here, and this is a walk in the park. Now, I want you to watch. I know you can't see officer number 2, but look at his hand. Look how he's standing. Now, he said taser, taser, taser. He's got a taser out. Look at this taser. Look at this taser. He's just holding it with one hand in his pocket. He knows that there is nothing this guy has that he can't take. This cop knows he's a better shooter. He's a better fighter. He knows that he's prepared for this his whole life. He knows that he has the endurance, the physical fitness. He has it all. So this is a walk in the park. Piece of cake. Let's deal with it. Write the fucking paperwork. Send me home to have sex with the old lady. because that's going to be a lot more fun after a use of force report versus this guy who's going to have an adrenaline dump. He's going to have the headache. He's going to have all the things, but this didn't even arouse officer number 2. Let's watch it again.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Tell me what they're for.
Taser. One thing real quick, the taser officer, watch when he, like you could see he fires the taser, gives it a second to see, is the taser going to be effective? Taser's not working. Time to go to town. Like
it doesn't even hesitate.
Doesn't hesitate. Gives it a second.
Why? And why doesn't the taser work? Why is it never working? Because all of these suspects are on nerve blocking prescription overdoses. Look at this guy's eyes. This dude's not going to feel that because they're nerve blockers. And what does a taser target? The nerves, the nervous system. And so that's why these tasers are never, plus they've dumbed down and pussified the tasers to a point where they're generally useless if somebody really wants to be in the fight. So this cop knows. He doesn't wait for the taser and go, oh shit, my shit didn't work, and then goes to his gun like we've seen time and time again. No, he just gets right to work. Let's play it again. I want to go back.
Turn around. They're for local warrants.
No,
turn
I don't
around.
have any warrants. I want you to tell me what they're for.
Turn around and put your hands behind
Tell
your
me
back.
what they're for.
Taser.
Turn around.
Tase me if you want to.
Turn around. Put your
Tase
hands
me
behind
if you want to.
Turn around.
Get out of my house.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back.
Get out of my house.
Turn around. Behind your back. You're going to get tasered.
No. You're gonna kill me.
5-1, step it up. We need backup.
Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need backup. You need the confidence. You need that warrior mindset. You need to have that attitude that there ain't nothing this dude can do that you can't just absolutely fuck him up for it. We don't like, that's where I want you to be, guys. I don't want you to be so dependent on your buddy. Live more like a state trooper. I hate to say it, or a county sheriff. You got to know that no one is coming for you. Get in the fucking fight right now. You can win. You should win. You should know that you have more training, more endurance, and more tools to win this battle. Where is it that cops have lost this mentality and that we need to have this, backup right now? Shut the fuck up. With all due respect, get in the fight and beat this guy's fucking ass.
He takes it to him right away.
Fucking no radio traffic.
You're gonna kill me.
Coming down the pipeline.
We need backup.
I love that sound. That's the air.
It's like
just
all the
that
air
you.
leaving your body.
Yep, that's you just won that when because they're trying to. So why they're trying to do that, you're going to get physical control over them. That the officer number 2 with the taser, he said, "This is my Friday, and I'm not getting held over.
Yeah,
I'm going home for the weekend. We're not doing this. Taser. I've never seen someone so nonchalantly shoot a taser while they have a hand in their pocket and then turn it to 12, like instantly. Like going from I'm going to sip my coffee to I'm going to bash your head in with my coffee instantly.
Yeah, didn't give a fuck. And then watch him put the guy in the car. Doesn't even care. He's like, this is like another day at the office. And we don't have the out of breath. This is what training does for you guys. Oops.
Which one are you trying?
I was trying to put it back on, but it's not coming on. My bad. Here we go. Look at him putting the guy in the car. Physically, the cops are physically fit, both of them. Yeah, and this is good police work. Nobody got shot, nobody really got hurt. That belly on black suplex worked out just fine for him, but he's well trained and he knows exactly how to deliver it. Textbook suplex there. I tried this without training, snapped my leg in 3 places. Same suplex. Just didn't work out for me. Let's play the whole thing one more time because it's so short and it's so easy. Let's play.
You're right.
Huh? Well, I haven't lived here for a while.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you have warrants for your arrest. I need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back.
For what? What am I warrants for?
Turn around. They're for local warrants.
No.
But for people that aren't cops, this is how fast and how quick this is. I'm compliant, non-compliant, compliant, non-compliant, compliant, like he's going back and forth between in his head. Am I going to have to fight these guys? Am I going to try to? So this is what this is what the police deal with.
Well, the most beautiful indicator was right here where you watch his fingers click. This is always an indicator, guys. Once they start flicking their fingers, they'll use their thumb and they'll tap their pocket. They'll tap their thigh. Let me stand up. I'm wearing Ranger panties. So you're welcome to watch this. It's this right here. You start seeing this.
The nervous twitch.
Start seeing that, or you start seeing this. Start seeing that. Start seeing any of those. That's an indicator that homeboy is going through fight or flight right now. The other indicator is this, that he's going to flight.
He's not looking at you. He's looking past you. He's looking through you.
He's trying to see where he wants to go.
Yep. He wants to see his escape.
Start seeing those ticks, you know, homie's going through fight or flight in his head, and you can take it out of him.
Unfortunately, you have warrants for your arrest. I need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Let me go back a little further here.
Huh? Well, I haven't lived here for a while.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you have warrants for your arrest. I need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Ticking?
Yep.
For what? What are my warrants for?
Turn around. They're for local warrants.
No, I don't have any warrants. I want you to tell me what they're for.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Tell me what they're for.
Taser, taser, taser.
Turn around.
If you want to.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
If you want to. Turn around. Get out of my house.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Get out of my house.
Turn around behind your back.
You're going to get tasered.
No.
You're going to kill me.
5-1, step it up. We need backup.
I don't completely dog on him, but if the first taser's not working and he's already going hands-on with him, the second one's probably not needed.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if he had any training, he would have went out for those feet, get those legs, wrap those legs up, let the guy take the torso. But I mean, listen, both cops have balls. Not knocking on them. It's just this is the difference between having some training and not having some training. I encourage all of you to take 9 weeks of jiu-jitsu or judo. 9 weeks, guys. 2 days a week for 9 weeks of your life. Your family will thank you for it. You'll probably keep doing it longer than that. I'm working on right now as the book comes out, a scholarship program that I'm going to work. Hopefully, I can get Tyler Gray. Him and I are kind of like talking back and forth on some stuff. And, maybe we can get something in the works together and partner up on something. But I'd love to do a scholarship fund to get first responders training in jiu-jitsu where they don't even have to pay for it, where they get to pick their own gym. And we just write the gym a check every month to get you guys trained. I think it is that important. And I wouldn't preach it on this show if I didn't. Listen, there's a great episode of Santana True Crime out right now on their new YouTube channel. Head over to Santana True Crime right now. And here's the name of the title of the episode. The title of the episode is Step Inside the Death Chamber and Behind the Walls of Ohio's Death Row. Watch Me Die is the title of the video. It's called Watch Me Die. Shocking true crime stories from Death Row with Dr. Bill Kimberlin, who has witnessed like every death row in the last, a million years in Ohio. And this guy's literally been there for everybody dying on death row. It's his job as a doctor. And it's a very powerful, very good podcast episode. Head over to Santana True Crime, or you can download Santana True Crime on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. All right, I'm going to get out of here 10 minutes early because, again, I'm hanging out with Beth and Greg from the Bar is Open podcast. The Bar is Open podcast. Head over to them. Give them a follow. Follow them on Instagram, YouTube. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe from this show. Give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes or Spotify. Please go out and buy Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. Pre-order now. You can go ahead and pre-order the audiobook, which is you're not going to want to miss it. We've really worked hard on it, and you guys are really going to enjoy it. Dims ain't mine. Dims ain't mine.
Can I be the Foley artist when you do like the taser in the vagina? Can you just record you tase me in my vagina, and then we'll record that, and that'll be the sound effect you get for that chapter in the book.
Absolutely. Let me see. Let me hear your hoya.
Hoya.
Perfect. Good night, everybody. Or
see
good
you
morning.
guys.
Good afternoon.
Oh, yeah.